Ladies and gentlemen, the Washington Commander mandatory minicamp, OTA periods, and rookie minicamp are officially in the books. And with that being said, there has been a couple of players, rookies, and veterans as well that are positioning themselves to potentially break out with the Washington Commanders this season. And in this video, I wanted to break down a couple of these players, one or two guys that I think are not only positioning themselves to have big years, but are proving to the coaching staff that, yeah, these guys are real, and I think they're going to make a big difference on this team going into next year. Now, before we dive into the video, I do want you guys to do me a favor and you give me two names. Who do you think could potentially break out this year for the Commanders? One offense and one on defense. And with that being said, let's kind of dive into this video and talk about some guys that may be X factors for the Commanders this season. The highlight of this year's offseason has been the wide receiver room. Not only do you add a guy like Deebo Samuel, who you see catching the ball right here, turning up the field, getting into the end zone, but also Terry McLaurin has not been at practice. He wants a new deal, and we don't know if that's going to happen, okay? Another part of the wide receiver room, Noah Brown goes down with an injury. It looks like he could be out for the entirety of this season. Not a great look for the wide receiver room right now, but there are a couple of guys that I wanted to briefly mention in this wide receiver room that are really starting to take off. One of them is number 19, Chris Moore, and another guy in Luke McCaffrey. These guys have been dynamic route runners that just get open all the time and are consistently dominated minicamp thus far. The one guy I want to give a major shout out to before we deep dive into the two players that have been looking really good as well is Chris Moore. Now, he is a 10-year veteran, but so far has proved himself as a savvy route runner during minicamp and has had some of the best catches of the offseason. Now, it's crazy because during OTAs, he was one of the biggest standouts as well. So yes, he's getting up there in age, but he is starting to look really, really good. He started minicamp by catching a deep pass over from JAYDEN Daniels over Trey Amos. He made another explosive catch the following day, this time over Carlin Vigers on the left side of the field. Obviously, with Noah Brown going down with an injury, he has a better shot at being a day one player for this football team, and I did want to give him a massive shout out. The player I think is positioning himself to be a breakout player this year in this organization is no other than Luke McCaffrey, okay? He has done a really good job this offseason just getting better, improving his game, and, you know, he's building a lot of chemistry and rapport with JAYDEN Daniels. The Commanders have also brought in, I believe, Wes Welker as some type of an assistant analyst type of guy here, and I think Luke McCaffrey is going to learn a lot from Wes Welker just being around this building. I am, putting my foot on the gas right now on Luke McCaffrey. If you guys play fantasy football, be sure to find Luke McCaffrey in some of these drafts, especially while Terry McLaurin misses some time. Luke's going to get a lot of that momentum. Look at this play here from last year. We're going to have a crosser over the middle. You're going to see him cross the backside of the linebacker and find open space. We're going to get like a deep comeback. We're going to get like a flat from the running back, which is going to take one of the linebackers. This DB is going to be cleared out. This is going to be perfect. Now, the offensive line is in what we call a 5-man scat protection. They're sliding here to the left, and they got man-to-man to the right. So watch this play here by Luke McCaffrey. As we drop back in the pocket, you're going to see Luke do a really good job here at, getting to the backside of this linebacker to force him to either open up those hips or commit to just running, right? This is a really good job by Luke McCaffrey. You see this bottom safety corner, whatever it is, drops to the running back. Look at Luke just outruns, turns up the field. I mean, all so fluid, man. Look at how fluid. He gets the ball and turns up the field immediately. Great job here, filling the open zone of the defense. And then look at the transition. Just boom. I really do believe he is on par for a massive year. But he's not the only one that's breaking out during minicamp. There's also another guy. Now, before we dive into this next breakout player, I do ask a little bit of a favor from you guys. Hit the like button if you haven't already done so. Most importantly, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. If you are new, it is free. It doesn't cost anything to join the family, and we will be covering the Commanders throughout the entirety of the offseason. That includes all of training camp. From there, we're going to get into some preseason football, breaking down all 22 coaches' film, offense, defense, individual player film for almost every single game. And then once the regular season kicks off, guys, unlimited Washington Commander content. We got you guys covered. So make sure you guys are joining the family if you haven't already done so. Now, you're going to notice that 2 of these players are not rookies, but there are some rookies that are breaking out, don't get me wrong, and we could talk about those guys in a different video. If you want a part 2, let me know. But the second guy I have on my list that is already positioning himself for a big year is second-year cornerback Mike Sainristil. This guy had a great rookie year, and I believe they're now going to be able to move him to the nickel role. Now, don't get me wrong as well, he played amazing on the outside boundary. But he is a guy that fits into the nickel so much better. You bring in Jonathan Jones, you draft Trey Amos, who are both outside corners, you trade for Marshawn Lattimore, right? You have Noah Igbenogany. This cornerback room is very deep, and Mike Sainristil has made a massive name for himself over the last few weeks, moving different position to different position and just making an impact everywhere he goes. Here was one of my favorite plays from last season. What they're going to read, the offense anyway, Jared Goff, are these deep safeties, right? First thing quarterbacks do is see where these deep safety goes. And if we're running, let's just say, a post or skinny post down that middle of the field with one-on-one coverage, especially when you have a matchup in Mike Sainristil versus Jameson Williams, where JMO has the height and it seems like he's got the speed. But sometimes you don't know the entire picture. Look at this play here by Mike Sainristil. First thing we notice is, once again, Jared Goff's first look is going to be at the safeties. Once he drops back, you're going to see one thing and one thing specifically. This deep safety right here is going to start to come up on this receiver, which is exactly what he is supposed to be doing. But for the quarterback, what that tells him is we have one-on-one coverage with inside leverage down that middle of the field, which turns into a yes-no read for quarterbacks. And most of the time, they like to circle yes in their head and say, I'm throwing this ball no matter what because I like my wide receiver more than I like their DB. So Jared Goff throws this thing up. Again, they have inside leverage trying to get to the middle of the field. But the one thing they don't understand is Mike Sainristil is one of the fastest, great acceleration corners in this league. Look at him jump this route absolutely perfectly. Stays on his feet. Should he have taken it out? Maybe, maybe not. Breaks a little bit of a tackle, gets to the 14, 15-yard line. But again, when you talk about pure athleticism as an outside corner from last year, man, you would just get wowed from all of the plays that he made. Now being able to move him to the nickel, right? Man, I think his talent is really going to come out. He's not scared to make a big tackle as well. So it's probably why you're going to want to play him at nickel. But man, what a player. I cannot wait to see what he does this year. But overall, guys, those are my 2 potential breakouts going into next year. There are like 3-4 other guys that I thought looked really good during mandatory minicamp. If you want that video, hit the like button, subscribe, join the family, turn on post notifications. That way you're notified every time we post a Commanders video. And like I said, there should be one coming out very, very soon. If you guys want to see it, just let me know in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.